Well, what up, and welcome to our AAC, which we also call our Athlete Ascension Community. You see, this is the place where athletes come when they want to ascend and win at higher levels. Let me say that again. This is a place for any athlete who's looking to ascend to a higher level and or win at a higher level. We want to achieve higher and higher results. So if you're allergic to average, this is the place for you. You see, as an athlete, as a teenager rather, you are in a time like no other time in your life. You are in growth mode. You're constantly growing mentally, in your body, physically, spiritually, in your awareness. Those things are happening naturally, whether you want them or not. AAC is about helping you to get from growth mode into go mode, where you are growing actively. You're taking that wheel and you're moving forward into your future in a much more accelerated path. So with that being said, let's talk about who AAC is not for. This community is not for those who prioritize sleep over their success. We all know them, right? This is not for any student whose parents prioritize their progress more than they do, okay? This is not the place for you if you put your friends over your future, okay? If that's your mindset, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. Log off and live your life. But for those who are looking to go somewhere, for those who are looking to get to greater, that's what our Athlete Ascension Community is for. Because my time's too valuable to waste, as is your time. So we're not going to waste it today. So let's go. So let's talk about our community rules first and foremost. And our community rules involve our three most powerful tools, okay? Those tools are, first and foremost, our ability to think, our ability to speak, and our ability to write. So I need you to do three things if you're going to truly become a part of this community. Our first thing I need you to do is to participate in the meditations, okay? The meditations involve our mind, and our mind is our most powerful tool. In AAC, we're going to help you to weaponize your mind. We're going to help you get your mentality to the next level, okay? This is something that separates us from other animals, our ability to think, our ability to dream, our ability to be better and to constantly think towards a better future, plan to progress. These things separate humans from other animals. And so we want to weaponize your mind and teach you how to use it at the highest levels. This starts with meditation. So at the end of every masterclass, we're going to do a 1-minute meditation, and I need you to participate. The other thing I need from you is to make sure you're saying aloud our affirmations. Why? Because the tongue is the second most powerful tool. You see, the Bible says that the power of life and death are in the tongue. What that basically means is from the time you are born to the time you die, everything that you experience is going to be controlled or positively or negatively affected by your tongue, what you're speaking, what you say. So many of you haven't had tongue training, okay? This is where we're going to start to tame and train our tongue. So I need you to get active in our affirmation portion. The other thing is to bring a notebook, okay? We're the only animal that can write. It's so important to write things because you signal to your subconscious that it's important, all right? Everything in human history that is of any importance has been written down, from God's word in the Bible to every law in every language, community plans. You can't even get into a courtroom without having something written down. A judge will literally laugh you out of the courtroom. So studies show that people who write down their goals are 50% more likely to accomplish those goals just by writing them down. We're signaling to our subconscious that this is important to us. We're signaling to the world that this is important. So these three things are what are going to weaponize us and help us get to the next level as athletes. I'm telling you this because not only as an athlete have these three practices changed my life, but as an adult, these three practices have transformed my life. So those are going to be musts at every single class. Be ready for those things. So we're going to be here 15 minutes every single Saturday, 12 p.m. Central. There's going to be a replay as well, but we invite you to show up if you're somebody who's seeking more as a student athlete. We invite you to share it as well. And so without further ado, let's get started with today's masterclass, which is entitled Gearing to Go Mode. And what does that mean? We talked about growth mode, right? You're naturally, every day you wake up as a teenager, you're getting probably a little bit smarter. You're probably getting a little bit taller, a little bit stronger, a little bit more aware of what's going around in the world. But these things are all active. We want to get you into these things are all passive. We want to get you into active mode, active growth, because not only should you be getting taller and faster and stronger and smarter, but you should be achieving more. You should be in a different place than where you were last year. You should be a better person in your character. You should be a better teammate. The things that your coaches and teachers and parents got on you for a year ago shouldn't be the same problems you're facing now. You should be a better shooter than you were last year. You should be a better ball handler. You should be a better, you should be more accomplished. You should have beaten that team that's beat you several times. That's what life is about. That's what getting into go mode is about. It's about achieving at higher levels. And today, the first thing I'm going to share with you is my story to talk to you and hopefully help give you some insight into how I got into go mode. And actually, that's my first point, is the fact that if you really want to get into go mode, get a guide, get a guru, get somebody who's been there before. We often have trainers and coaches and all these people who lead us, but make sure your guide has actually been there before. They've gone to the place you want to get to. I know if I was hiking Mount Kilimanjaro, I would want a guide who's been to the top of the mountain before, because I wouldn't know what to do when clouds started circling or the storm was nearing, or I took a wrong turn. That's why you need a guide. Okay. And so I'm sharing my story in the hopes to guide you. Okay. Also, if you're looking for a guide and you don't see one around naturally, read a book, watch a video, do some research, join a class, join a community like this community, and find a guide that can help get you to your next level. So that's a bonus point I didn't have time to add and send to my editors, but get a guide. Secondly, as your guide in this particular portion of your journey, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. You see, I was a 5'9" freshman. I was regular in every sense of the word. You couldn't pick me out of a lineup. I had no discerning qualities that made me any more special than anyone else. But that all changed. That changed one particular day, which happened to be the first day of my high school career. My parents dropped me off, and I don't know what it was. Maybe something about the walk from the car to the front door and just seeing all the pretty girls get out of their cars. Maybe it was seeing the older juniors and seniors who were stronger and taller and bigger than me. But maybe I felt some type of way. Maybe I felt less than. But before I put my hands on the door that day, I told myself, I'm going to be the best player to ever put on a uniform here. And what that did for me, and what I hope it does for you, is it gave me a distinct dream. I had a distinct dream that was all mine, something that caused me to believe better. What is your distinct dream? What is that thing that's maybe partly spiritual, maybe partly mental, maybe even physical, that is recurring in your subconscious? When you close your eyes, you see it. When you see somebody else accomplishing it, you think about it, and it tickles your heartstrings. What is that distinct dream? Because the thing about a distinct dream, it leads to a distinct decision, and distinct decisions differentiate you. And so I need you to find your distinct dream, because what my distinct dream did for me was, along with that growth mode I talked about, right? My body naturally grew to 6'2". And so not only was I talking different because I was telling myself I'm going to be the greatest player to ever play here, but I started walking different. I started carrying myself different, and I started to get different results. And you know what? As a sophomore, I became a varsity starter. And I did this because I went from a distinct dream to a different drive. I began to do things differently from those around me. I began to stay late after practice, 15 to 30 minutes a day. I began to wake up on weekends and go to the gym by myself. I began to watch basketball at all hours of the day and night and dream about basketball, even playing on a little hoop in my room, which was, a little bitty room, no bigger than my bed. I would just dream about being the best basketball player I could possibly be. What's your different drive? What are you willing to do that nobody has to tell you to do, right? We're talking about leveling up. Even if it's not necessarily in basketball, what are you doing in your relationships with your parents, with your friends, with those that you look up to? That's different than what you did a year ago. Maybe you're willing to take more responsibility in an area like watching a younger sibling or mowing the yard, or maybe you're getting up and going for a run 2 or 3 days a week. What is that thing that is different for you? And so lastly, I went from averaging nearly 20 points a game as a sophomore to 24 points a game as a junior to 28 points a game as a senior. And this is without shooting threes, people. And so as you can see, I got from go mode to growth mode because of a crazy consistency. I took that distinct dream, I took that different drive that separated me, and I got crazy consistent with it. I started doing it day after day after day after day after day. I stopped being afraid to be different, and I took that one thing and I went crazy with it. I locked in on it. And you know what? It took me from an average player to a starter to a star to OMG, this dude is the man. Okay. It took me from one of the best players in the city to an all-stater to an all-American. It literally took me from one of the best players on my team to one of the best players all time. I went from begging for a jersey to my jersey now hanging in the rafters as one of the 3 or 4 retired jerseys by my school, all because I got into go mode. And that's what I want to see from you guys. I want you to start to become allergic to average. Just getting out on that court and running up and down and having fun is no longer good enough. That's going to happen naturally. That's going to happen passively. What can we do actively to accelerate? So let's talk about how you can get into growth mode, into go mode. I'm sorry. First and foremost, the bonus point, get a guru, okay? Get a guide to help you. Secondly, I need you to have a distinct dream. Like I said, what is that thing that's in the back of your mind? Next, I need you to develop a different drive. Think about that thing that you can do differently, that's calling you to do, that it's like it's not even work for you, but you're willing to walk a different path. Thirdly, I need you to get crazy consistent with it. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And here's another bonus point. Since we're talking about cars and getting into go mode, I need you to pay attention to the gear shifts. Okay, get a gear shift. Gear shifts are when the driver takes his hand on the gear shaft and moves it just an inch or two, but the car accelerates 10, 20, 30 miles per hour. Gear shifts are little things, little points that you take away that accelerate you more than what you ever knew. Okay. You guys always have people talking to you, right? Whether it be a preacher, whether it be your parents, whether it be a coach, whether it be a trainer, teacher, and you throw most of it out of the window. You don't even pay attention to it because you think, I already know that. Well, they know you already know that. In fact, most of the things I've told you today, you probably know. But there may be one nugget in there, one little gear shift that can accelerate you to your next level of achievement. So, last thing, like I said, our affirmations. I need you to say this now. I need you to participate with me. Remember, the tongue is the second most powerful tool we have. I need you to say, I am now gearing to go mode to accomplish all of my goals. I am now gearing to go mode to accomplish all my goals. Even write it down. I am now gearing to go mode, not growth mode, go mode to accomplish all of my goals. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do today, I need a minute of meditation. Hopefully you're somewhere by yourself or you have some earphones on, or you can watch this later, but I need you to just close your eyes for a minute. Okay. Take a couple deep breaths. I need you to begin to see yourself. See yourself with a distinct dream. See yourself living out that dream. Maybe it's to take your average to over 20 points a game, or become a varsity starter, or get multiple college scholarships. Maybe it's to get your team to the state tournament next year. Maybe it's just to grow in a particular skill. Whatever it is for you, see yourself experiencing that. Feel that in your body right now. You should almost be smiling, seeing yourself in go mode, accomplishing your dream. The next thing I need you to think about, what is that distinct drive? What is that different drive that you have to accomplish this? What's that one, maybe two, maybe even three things you're going to do differently? And then I need you to see yourself committing to that like crazy every day, through the rain, sleet, snow, through the sickness, through the pain, through the obstacles and distractions, through the times you have to tell your friends no, tell your mom and dad, hey, I'm committed to this. Think about those things. And lastly, see yourself getting fully into go mode, accomplishing more than what you've ever thought you can accomplish, getting that award from your coach at the end of the year, receiving that award from the city newspaper or the state association, getting national recognition. Think about these things, okay? Because if you're here and you stay to the end of this, you are capable of accomplishing anything. It tells me you're already different. And again, this may be your different drive. Just logging on 15 minutes a week here. And so I hope this helped you today. Feel free to share. Feel free to come back and watch again, even if you need to skip to the moments that mattered most for you. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.